Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for coming along to this session of the Southwest Creative Technology Network Data Showcase. For those of you who came to the earlier session at 10 o'clock here in the Expo booth, hello again, and very warm welcome to anyone new joining us. Thank you for coming. My name is Catherine Stevens and my pronouns are she, her. I'm assistant producer at Collider in Exeter, and I'm here in the studio today. And we at Collider are one of Swoockton's partners. So a bit of audio description for you. I am a white woman in my mid-20s. I'm wearing a bright yellow jumper and I've got brown hair that's tied up in a bun behind my head. There are two purple panels on the wall behind me, and over my left shoulder there is a surprisingly perky looking fern plant. And I am joined on my left by British Sign Language interpreter Catherine Neal. Hello, Catherine, thank you. Catherine is a white woman in her late 30s. She has dark hair and blue eyes and is sitting in front of a white wall at home. So, welcome to this session. So for the benefit of those joining us for the first time, let me give you a little bit of a context for what we're about to talk about in this New Creatives session. And for those of you who joined me earlier in the day, please stick with me for 3 minutes or so whilst there's a little bit of repetition. We'll be onto something new and exciting very quickly, I promise. So we're going to be finding out more about a project that has come through the talent development strand of Swoockton. Throughout the 3 years of the programme, talent development has been a core part of network activity, providing resource and expertise outside of the fellowship and prototyping programmes, which is a lot of what you'll hear about today. So talent development has included Pay What You Decide talks, workshops and experiences, a lot of them here at Collider Studios, concentrating on how creative technology can be ethical, how it can promote well-being, how it can connect us to one another and create value in the world. And in the summer of 2020, last year, when we were all suddenly living in an online world, we ran a 3-day intensive and immersive course on how to deliver content online. This was led by multidisciplinary artist and musician Fred Deakin for 12 of our Swoockton network members, and this resulted in 4 commissions. What we're here to talk about this morning, though, is another strand of Swoockton talent development, and that is New Creatives. So New Creatives, which began almost exactly 2 years ago in 2019, is a really exciting scheme from BBC Arts and Arts Council England. It offers commissioning opportunities for emerging artists aged 16 to 30 to create brand new work in film, audio, or interactive media. And these are designed for BBC platforms. Calling the Shots in Bristol ran the New Creatives project for the Southwest region. And here at Collider, we were a partner organisation along with Somerset Film, Create Studios, Screen Cornwall, and Watershed. Swoockton joined the partner organisations of New Creatives to lend expertise and mentorship to the creation of the interactive experiences. And that is what we're here to talk about today. I am so delighted to have Hannah Parsons and Joe Strickland here with me this morning to talk about their brand new binaural interactive experience, Hairy Hands FM, which launches on BBC Arts today. Hello, Hannah. Hello, Joe. So a bit of an introduction for these two. Hannah Parsons is a sound designer, producer and recordist specialising in binaural spatial audio technology. They design sound-led, accessible pieces, working with emerging writers to realise their visions in new, immersive ways. And this is supported by their years of experience as a theatre technician and stage manager. Hello, Hannah. Hi. And Joe Strickland combines their backgrounds as a theatre maker, magician, psychologist, and creative technologist to make original audience experiences for traditional sound and digital spaces. They are the artistic director of the theatre company Chronic Insanity, having recently finished a project to create and stage 12 shows in 12 months. Hairy Hands FM, their New Creatives piece, which we'll be hearing all about, is an interactive, immersive audio experience designed to transform your home into something exciting and unfamiliar. Requiring just a mobile device and a pair of headphones, audiences should prepare to hide and be chased by the Dartmoor legend of the hairy hands, with only a radio host for guidance. Welcome, Hannah and Joe. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, hello.
Hello. Hannah, can I hand over to you just for a bit of audio description, please?
Yeah, sure. So hello, my name's Hannah. I'm the sound designer for Hairy Hands. I'm in my early 20s. I'm white. I have long brown hair. I'm also wearing glasses and a big rainbow jumper. I'm in my office at home, and I have 2 mannequin heads either side of me, as well as a brightly coloured picture on the wall.
Beautiful, Hannah. Thank you so much. Can I hand over to you, Joe?
Of course. Hi, I'm Joe. I am a white person in my mid-20s. I have medium-length brown hair and a kind of brown gingery beard and a blue pair of glasses. I'm wearing a red shirt with pictures of birds and palm trees on it. And I'm in my spare room. So over my right shoulder, you can see a kind of cream wall. And over my left shoulder, some shelves full of papers and cardboard boxes.
That's fantastic, Joe. Thank you. Thank you both so much. So before we dive headfirst into Hairy Hands and the experience, it would be great if you could tell everyone watching just a little bit more about you both and your work and your backgrounds. So Hannah, could I maybe go to you first? You've got a background in theatre, we understand from our intro.
Yeah, sure. So hi, I'm Hannah. I'm a sound designer. I'm currently living in Swindon with my parents and my cats. I have a background in theatre. I've worked with lots of fringe theatre and inclusive theatre companies. I'm also a recent music graduate from the University of Southampton, and I specialise in binaural sound design. Up until the lockdown last year, I was working on theatre shows and tours pretty regularly, and I've sort of switched disciplines to have more of a focus on my sound design work recently.
Amazing. Thank you, Hannah. And Joe, can I hand over to you? Can you tell us a bit more about you and also Chronic Insanity, your theatre company?
Sure, yeah. So I'm, as the intro suggested, I'm a theatre maker. I'm like a digital producer and a creative technologist. My main focus a lot of the time is my theatre company, Chronic Insanity. We formed about a year and a half ago. I've been doing theatre and stuff for years and years before then, but this new company formed about a year and a half ago with a project to do 12 shows in 12 months, which we completed in August of 2020. And then we took the autumn off, and then we started again in January this year with another 12 shows in 12 months project. Hairy Hands is our 3rd show this year, and we have another 4th show coming out in a couple of days as well. So full steam ahead with that. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, Joe, you have, yes, a full schedule. I had no idea that you were going into a 2nd year of 12 shows in 12 months. That's quite a schedule you've created for yourselves. That's really exciting. Thank you so much for telling us more. So Joe, maybe I could stay with you for this next question, which is where did you come across the New Creative scheme? What interested you in it initially? What made you feel like your work would be right for this project?
Sure. Well, it was actually it was Hannah who introduced me to the idea. We met at the virtual National Student Drama Festival last year, about a year ago actually, almost to the date, and we decided that we wanted to kind of work on something together. We were both sort of interested in interactive stuff, and Hannah suggested that we apply for this. So we came up with the idea for the show, and we put the application in, and yeah, the rest is history, I guess. I think why I kind of was attracted to interactive stuff is I kind of like study it and play around with it. So I'm in the final year of a PhD looking at kind of like interactive storytelling and new technology that we can use to tell those stories. So I've already been in this sort of headspace of digital theatre and online storytelling for the last kind of 2 or 3 years. And when it was clear that this was going to be a lot of, in many cases, the only opportunity moving forwards for at least the next year, a year ago at least, then we sort of went, okay, well, let's double down and let's do something, and let's really try and make something that fits and isn't just sort of like that first stage of adapting something. Let's try and make something that really feels at home and makes the most of all of the kind of features of doing digital and online performance.
Wow. So do you feel like you were actually really prepped for an online year, Joe? Do you feel like you've been doing your homework for the past 3 years as to how to bring audiences online?
A little bit, yeah. Completely coincidentally, but I guess it's just how it goes sometimes. Yeah. I think we found ourselves in a very privileged and fortunate position to be able to kind of jump in all guns blazing with making digital work.
Absolutely. And have the two of you met in real life?
No, we still haven't, and that's kind of crazy.
Oh my goodness, I had no idea. That's really wow. That really speaks to both of you. I think that you've created this whole process and whole thing and whole idea all online. That's really, really brilliant. Hannah, maybe I could go to you next. We met at the training process in August of last year. Those intensive 3 days that the whole of the shortlisted new creatives spent together working on their ideas before the panel in front of the BBC and the commissioning decisions and process. Mm-hmm. What was that shortlisting process like for you? Both the 3 days that we spent working on the ideas, but also that idea of the panel and that whole process. How was that?
Shortlisting and the intensive workshop was really, really cool. We got to meet I got to meet a load of really amazing artists who are still making loads of work now, and it was great to have that sort of opportunity to meet creatives. Especially being locked down, it's really hard to casually meet people again who are doing cool work, and that was a really cool introduction. We also got a load of development skills and how to develop our pitch and what sort of going into the nuances of what technology we would be using. We also had a really cool opportunity to watch an interactive piece, which was about AI, and to sort of see how Works is sort of making pieces now, and I really, really enjoyed that. It was great to meet Asma, who was on the talk before us, and a load of other theatre companies and artists. I could name all 12. They're all really cool. But it was great to meet all of them and have chats with them one-on-one as well, especially about their pieces. I really appreciated that, and it was great. It was great being supported by several different studios at once in that process as well.
Great, yeah, absolutely. As you say, Hannah, there were 12 of you there. Did it feel like a competitive process? Like you say, that it was an immensely strong group of artists, and a really hard job to pick 2 projects out of the brilliant 12 that were there. It sounds to me like you found it a really collaborative process. Is that how it felt? Was there any element of sort of, oh gosh, only 2 of us can come out on top of this thing, or how was that to navigate?
I think everyone was happy that each other's projects existed. If I'm honest, everyone was so nice. It wasn't cutthroat or anything like that. Loads of people were out there to help you develop your idea, and it was more of a community rather than a we're pitching against each other feel. It was really great to speak to the other creators there, and everyone was just so helpful in developing a thing, and built up the hype in our own heads about our piece as well, even though it wasn't fully formed or finished. Really great group of people. Yeah.
Great. Yeah, it's always good to have practice at hyping up your own work as well. That's always useful. And so then at the very beginning of September, Hairy Hands FM made it through the commissioning process and was commissioned by the BBC and the Arts Council. Then it was a bit of a whirlwind from then on. I think there was essentially a very short amount of time to make this an interactive piece. That whole process, I imagine, was maybe quite a learning curve for the both of you. What were some of the real wins that you had in the process, real moments of like, yes, we're absolutely on track, this is what we want, and what were some of the more challenging moments? Joe, could I maybe go to you?
Sure, yeah. Actually, as it stands, I guess as a byproduct of having done a show a month for the past kind of year and a half, we're quite adept to, at least from Chronic Insanity's side, to kind of quickly planning and getting things ready and organized and kind of working within those kind of structures that we've built up show by show by show. So actually one of the trickiest parts of the process was kind of because we had so many kind of great partners and people kind of helping us with the project, we're used to making stuff kind of just by ourselves and in-house, and so we can kind of go at the pace that we set ourselves at. And then with this project, we had 5-6 months to get everything together, and we had other organizations helping out who are busy with loads of other projects, and so there were lots of times of like making a thing and then kind of waiting for feedback. And so there was kind of more having to, that steep learning curve was kind of learning more in a collaborative way and figuring out how to maybe best pace our work so that we can fit within and have kind of fit within those schedules of the people that are helping us make stuff.
Brilliant. And you had 2 mentors on the project who were Hannah Wood and Duncan Speakman, great friends of the Swipton Network and Immersion Fellows themselves. What was working with them like? What did you feel yourself, handing to them? What were you looking for their input on? Hannah, maybe I could pass that to you.
Yeah, sure. So it's great having 2 different mentors. Hannah makes really, really cool interactive work and games, and it was great to have her input. She's really cool. We also had Duncan Speakman, who was more there for me for sound design mentorship, and he was really helpful as well. His work's also really, really cool. It's great to work with actual artists and having that sort of connection. I would show Duncan demos I was making and things that I was working on, and he'd give really useful feedback and sort of made me ask questions to myself that I hadn't considered before in terms of approach to sound design, and I found that really helpful. That was very specifically helpful for me, and it was nice to have 2 other people on our team as well. Yeah,
brilliant. And to start to head into talking about the piece itself and the work, what are you both most excited about now that Hairy Hands is live on the BBC website? People are about to go and check it out for the first time. What is the most exciting thing about that after having this whole process of getting it up and running? Hannah, maybe I can stick with you.
Yeah, sure. I'm so excited to see how people react to it in their different homes, because it's sort of a universal sound design sort of model where we use I don't know how much to go away. Lots of universal concepts that would work in most people's homes. And I'm really excited to see how that impacts people in different spaces, in different contexts and like different environments. And I'm really, really excited to see how that works out. There was one point in our play testing period where I got sent a video of someone's sister reacting to an early demo of the piece, and it made my day, because finally you see your sound design is really effective and that it's having the impact you wanted. And I'm really excited for that going into the world. Also, it's a new sort of art form, and we don't know of anyone else making a sort of experience like this, and where it sort of crosses over into augmented reality, sort of. It's very accessible. You don't need any equipment, any specialist equipment to listen to it, and it's free. And I'm really excited that people are sort of opened up to a new type of thing that they might not have been able to see before, and I'm really excited about that too.
That's brilliant, Hannah. Thank you. Joe, what about you? What's most exciting for this moment for you?
I think the fact that for this whole process, we've been missing one of our most important cast members, who is the audience. The fact that we haven't really been able to see how it's impossible for us as the creators of the piece to see how the show will actually perform, because the most important role is the one that you take on board when you are the protagonist at home when you listen to the piece. I think I agree with what Hannah says, and that I would go so far as to say that this is absolutely an augmented reality audio experience, where we put this kind of extra digital coat of paint, this audio layer over your world in your home to make it kind of a bit more, spooky and exciting just for the 20-minute duration of the piece. I think that it's going to be really interesting to hear back from everyone and see kind of how people play around with stuff. And I'm really excited for people to feedback about the kind of interactive elements. Like, this isn't just like, put these headphones on and sit here and listen to this piece. There are, you have to do things. You have, the piece reacts from you. It understands your behavior to an extent, and then it is powered and the story moves forwards depending on your responses to it. So you can't just, there's loads of stuff if you want to go and watch something and just kind of sit back and relax, but this is not what this piece is. You you very much have to be kind of ready and willing and waiting for that moment when it's suddenly like, okay, now it's your turn. You're on stage, as it were. It's your turn to perform and play around and have fun and, be an interactive and meaningful part of the story.
Yeah, you want people to get involved, get in there. Yes, and just on that point, for everyone watching, Hannah and Joe will be in this chat after we've finished speaking today, whilst you're hopefully heading over to the BBC Arts website to check out Hairy Hands FM. So if you do have any feedback or anything that you're interested in talking to them about more, they will be in the chat after we finish speaking. So Joe, I think if it's all right, I'll stick with you for this next question. Why do you feel like this piece, Hairy Hands FM, is important right now? What was it that you felt about this moment that meant this was the piece to make?
I guess because, don't get me wrong, the piece is silly, but it is still a sort of horror piece. And I guess horror is always allegorical, or at least the best horror is the best horror because it talks about some sort of underlying cultural fear. And I think that, and then maybe gives people the tools and the space to process that a bit more in an abstract form so that they can then apply that to the more kind of, or the less abstract form of it. I think that obviously the world has been turned upside down for some people for ages, but for most of us, or maybe not most of us, for a good chunk of us, definitely at least the past year, for some people even longer. And I think that there's lots of stuff happening that is a bit unknowable and a bit chaotic and that we don't necessarily fully understand. And that's scary, not knowing things. And I think that this experience not only gives you a slightly silly thing to be confused by and to find chaotic and to not understand, but then it gives you the tools and it gives you the option to be active and to respond to it in a way that you can try and avoid it. And hopefully by the end of the experience, overcome this unknowable, paranormal, confusing object with the help from the other characters. Can kind of show you that even if things feel unknowable and undefeatable, that if you kind of, if and when you can, if you keep working towards it, and if you listen to people and we help each other, then maybe we can overcome those sorts of things.
Brilliant. That's, yes, a needed message right now, for sure. So before we head into the experience, what about for you both? What's next now that this is out there in the world? What's next for the piece itself? Is there anything further that you both want to any place further you want to take it, and what's next for you both individually as well? Hannah, can I maybe start with you?
Yeah, sure. So in terms of this piece specifically, we're looking at interactive festivals. We know that Tribeca has recently opened up to interactive works, so there's more of a scope of taking this to other places. But in terms of more generally, the framework that we now have for the piece and the sort of methods of sound design and creating that text structure, we'd really like to make new pieces with new locations, maybe in your garden shed, or with a different type of monster, or for a different time of the year or event. And there's sort of a huge scope for that. And it'd be really cool to continue making those things together. I think that's sort of what's next for the piece, sort of pushing, see how far we can push this new art form and what doors it opens further down the line. I think that's what's next for us.
Brilliant. And do you feel, it sounds to me, Hannah, like the sound design part of your work is where you're being pulled at the moment? Do you feel like that's kind of where you're happy to stay for now in terms of the many strings to your bow?
Yeah, I think definitely it's making a home experience which is accessible for so many people is very rewarding. It sort of removes traditional barriers that live performances have if they're ticketed or if they're in a space which have accessibility issues and lots of different things like that. Making this and sort of being able to send a link to somebody at whatever time of the day and saying you just need your headphones and a mobile device, they're much more likely to listen to it. And I think engaging people with art that's really just right there and easy to experience is really important. And I really like that. I mean, at some point I will also go back to theatre in tandem with this, but I'd still really like to keep both those live experiences that I'm helping happen in real theatres and galleries, as well as home concepts and accessible pieces. So a mixture of both. And I think having both of those things go in tandem affects one and the other in really good ways. I think now we've had a lot of time to sort of take away from traditional art structures, we can come back and sort of assess what we like and don't like and carry things that are better for more people forward. And I think making something like this and keeping this sort of mindset of interactive, audience-based artwork is really important. So I think I'll be moving in tandem, but sound design is currently the main thing. Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you, Hannah. That all sounds really, really exciting. So we are close to sending people over to Hairy Hands FM. So my final question for you both this morning, and I'll maybe start with you, Joe, if that's okay. Is there anything, in any particular way that you want people to enter this experience? Is there anything you want to any snippets of information you want to give them before they head in?
Yeah, a couple of things. First, read the information on both the BBC Arts page and then the next page, which is on the Chronic Insanity website. There's some important technical stuff and also some important context with the piece. I know people might want to be kind of ready and raring to go and not want to have to kind of read through some stuff. But as Hannah said, this is a thing that's relatively new, if not maybe like a unique experience for most audiences. And I think alongside that, that means you might not innately know how to behave with it and how to perform alongside it and play with it. So I think it's important to read those sorts of instructions just so you can understand if it's not responding, why that might be, and why it's not working on this device if it doesn't work on this particular device, sort of thing, just so you can go into it and not do it, I don't know, like not do it correctly and then feel like it hasn't worked and feel disappointed. I think it's, you know, if you read the information, you'll know exactly how you can experience it from the get-go, and then it should be smooth sailing from there, fingers crossed. And also, I guess, yeah, like I said, you're a member of the cast, you're playing with it, you're performing with it. It's not a passive experience. It's one where you definitely have to be on your toes and active when it starts asking that of you. So yeah, to expect that as well.
Great, thank you so much, Joe. Hannah, is there anything you would add for your about to be audience members?
I'd say secondly, Joe, definitely read all the technical information. It's definitely new, and it will really help you sort of just figure out the experience in the best way. Read the information and enjoy it. It's silly, it's fun, and I think you'll have a great time. Yeah, I think that's it. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you both so much. So now is the super exciting part where we actually get to launch Hannah and Joe's work, and you all out there in the audience get to experience it for yourself in the comfort of your own home. So Hairy Hands FM is now live on the BBC Arts website, and if you click the big blue button to the right of this screen, you will be taken there to begin the experience. And as Joe and Hannah have said, please do read all of the technical information that is there for you. If you can't see the big blue button, please make sure you've selected booth rather than event on the top right of your browser window. Joe and Hannah, as I said earlier, will be hanging around in the booth chat for the next 15 or 20 minutes or so to answer any questions you might have about the work or hear any feedback you might have after you've given it a go. So please do click on the chat function to speak to them. And again, this is under booth, not event, on your right. So Hannah and Joe, thank you so much for your time this morning speaking about your work. It has been an enormous pleasure working with you both over the last 6 months. I cannot wait for people to experience Hairy Hands FM. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you to everyone watching, and please enjoy the rest of the showcase day. Thank you so much, everyone.